by calmly engaging with them and explaining to them that we have a good body of legal code in Illinois, perhaps we can actually have a conversation that goes both ways rather than just yelling at each other.
Well, and I think the thing that has always bothered me, and we've had, I said John Riggio is a good example. Chuck's Gun Shop was one of our sponsors for years, and we know him. He's a great guy, and John wouldn't do anything illegal for all the money in the world. They want to blame guns. They want to blame people who sell guns as if no one audits them, as if you could just have this wholesale selling of firearms to gangbangers and no one's going to notice. I mean, they want to pin it on everything and everybody except the person who's pulling the trigger. Somehow or another, they get a pass.
Agreed.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. With more on Talking Radio, and you're listening to AM 560.
The Answer.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the Balance of Nature Traffic Center.
I'm Eddie Manzano in the Balance of Nature Traffic Center on the inbound Bishop Ford just past 159th. A crash blocking two right lanes solid from just after the Tri-State. 8094 Dan Ryan at half an hour. The on-ramp is also closed at 159th on the outbound Gapers delay from Sibley to 159th. Dan Ryan to 894 at 20 minutes. On the inbound Kennedy O'Hare to downtown at 34 from the junction 14. Outbound to O'Hare from downtown at 20. Express lanes at 8. Inbound Eichsel from Western into the Circle. Thorndale to the post office at 40 on the outbound at 29. Inbound Stevenson brake lights from Western to the Dan Ryan. 55 to LSD at 44 on the outbound at 34 minutes. Currently mostly cloudy, 88 degrees, heat index of 97. Excessive heat warning in effect up until tomorrow 7 p.m. Tonight a low of 81. Next update in 15 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Do you remember the race and class of D&D character that you you chose as a young girl playing D&D?
Yeah,
with your
in my
friends?
mom's basement.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
I remember thinking the Dungeons and Dragons crew was just a little off.
It's collaborative. You create this world and you make of it what you will.
That sounds
in collaboration with your other nerd friends who are also not going to prom.
Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Hey, is $20 too much to spend to get out of pain? If so, I guess you're not in that much pain. This is Michael Medved again to sing the praises of a 100% drug-free solution to lowering your pain levels. It's called Relief Factor, and the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. My wife and friends have found relief, and so can you. Your back, neck, shoulder, hip, or knee pain can all be reduced or even eliminated with the help of Relief Factor at ReliefFactor.com or by calling 800-500-8384, ReliefFactor.com.
The Army National Guard is committed to keeping the country safe and our communities secure. Composed of hundreds of thousands of citizen soldiers from all walks of life, the Guard is always ready to respond to local or national emergencies. We protect the homeland. We're always there when called upon, and in every state and territory, we stand guard for our communities. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard. Aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now return to On Target on AM 560. The Answer. If you have a question or opinion The studio line is 312-642-5600. Now, here's your host, firearm expert and educator, David Lombardo.
And we're back. Our guest this evening is Dan Eldridge, who is the president of Maxon, who in Des Plaines, and is also the president of the new FFL group. So the question I think that I would like to hear is the bill that we're looking at now for FFLs. What exactly are they saying you're going to have to do? And as a gun owner, I mean, that's your business, isn't it? Why would I care to begin with?
Sure. The principal issue that's got this particular bill bottled up right now was a modification that Kathleen Willis made to it after we discussed some of the technical flaws in the bill. In particular, she changed the rules to state that you have to, that failure to keep records of a private transaction, not an FFL transaction.
Like if I buy a gun from somebody.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you fail to keep records of that with the FOID card and the approval for 10 years, first offense is a misdemeanor, second offense is a felony. Okay. I get it. They want to follow the trace beyond the original retail transaction so that they can see where the gun goes. But this turns paperwork errors, non-willful, clerical errors, potentially into felonies. Yeah. And so I put a hypothetical in front of her, which was, suppose I sell several firearms privately. I have my records, and I move to Florida. And I say, gosh, I don't need these anymore. Now I have to come back and take care of sick parents. I move back to Illinois. By doing that, by reestablishing Illinois residency, I'm a felon. Well, that's really a problem. We need to work on that. Yes, you do. What she came back with was, well, okay, but the seller can give the record of the sale to the state police in a form that they deem acceptable. Okay, well, let's think that through. So now the state police is going to keep a record of private firearms transactions?
Don't we call that registration?
That's registration.
Correct. So that dog won't hunt, and the bill is the bill has a motion to reconsider from the Senate president right now. Until he lifts that motion to reconsider, it goes nowhere near the governor's desk.
Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Our guest is Dan Eldridge. We're talking about the FFL bill. So from my perspective as a gun owner, I get that part, the part where if I don't do the paperwork. But the part that affects like a store, like you, I mean, not to be callous, but why do I sweat that?
The bill from last year, 1657, which passed but was vetoed by the governor, was architected specifically to drive gun dealers out of business. The desired end state for that bill was that the only place you could buy a firearm in Illinois would be Walmart or Dick's or Cabela's, and that's unacceptable, should be unacceptable to gun owners, especially given how those large organizations tend to bow to the political winds. Similarly, this bill, 337, while it took some of the more toxic and aggressive aspects away from 1657, there's still a great deal of it that is to be determined by rule. Best practices to be determined by rule. Straw purchase training to be determined by rule. And if it's not encoded in the statute, we have to assume the worst, that an anti-gun administration could come in and interpret appropriate straw purchase training as being 10 hours a week per employee, things of that nature. Video surveillance of every portion of a shop where guns are handled. That's simply impractical. Retention of video records for 90 days. Well, the only way I can do that is to turn the thing onto black and white, and it'll look like a Pong game with the level of resolution. So it still goes beyond what would be. It goes beyond reason, and would have zero effect in reducing the flow of firearms from legal to illegal channels. We don't control that part. We sell to qualified buyers with background checks. No amount of straw purchase training is going to turn me or my staff or John and his staff into mind readers or psychics. Somebody could be a perfectly well-qualified, law-abiding citizen, and 10 years down the road, something happens and they go crazy. firearms are stolen. We know that 95 to 98% of recovered gun crimes are illegally possessed by non-qualified owners. I didn't sell to that person. No FFL sold to that person.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, there's a fee associated with this. And in the last I heard anyway, it wasn't fixed.
It was fixed in the code, and it was at a fairly high level. I want to say it was $1,500 per location. They originally had it per FFL, and as you know, the bigger shops and even the medium-sized ones like mine will have multiple FFLs. I have an FFL license for gunsmithing, I have a license for our rental firearms, and I have a license for our retail firearms. Those are very different business functions with a very different velocity that guns go in and out of them. Therefore, we want them in separate FFLs. Well, suddenly, if I'm looking at $1,500 per FFL or $2,500 per FFL, you know, that's starting to become meaningful money every couple of years.
You mean, I didn't know this. You're saying that you don't just have an FFL. You actually have multiple. It doesn't come under one umbrella?
Correct.
I never knew that. So you kind of pick and choose when you go into business. You say, well, I'm not going to do this, so you don't get that FFL rating.
They're all the same type, but it's just the different nature of the businesses that they cover that it makes it cleaner on in terms of bookkeeping and the velocity of firearms going in and out, which would be the reason that we do that.
It never fails to amaze me how much regulation is wrapped up in this stuff. I mean, it's and you know, before we had concealed carry, it used to be one of the, not a joke, but it used to be one of the things that we would say is you could leave Joliet carrying with a gun in a case, and then the closer you get to downtown Chicago, the more laws you're breaking. I mean, it's just, and now they want to do it again. They want to take modern sporting rifles out of the concealed carry bill and give each village, you know, the right to do it. And if you look at that, the one side of the coin says, well, why shouldn't I have a right in my village to determine what happens in my village? But if you stop and think about it, it makes no sense. It's like having different traffic laws in every town.
Right, exactly. Preemption was a really important part of the concealed carry law, state-level preemption, that the state is responsible for firearms laws. Without preemption, you have a patchwork of laws. You could be pulled over with a firearm that's legal in your home, city or county, and you're a firearms criminal because you crossed a particular county border or a particular city border. But as for the regulation aspect of it, one of the common misconceptions is that firearms dealers are unregulated. Nothing could be further from the truth. We're regulated by the federal government. An ATF audit is a very, very comprehensive look at what's in the shop, what's come into the shop, what's going out of the shop. We have to account for every single firearm. Now, the anti-gun forces will say, well, but they're only audited every 2 years. Well, that's true, but the audits are unannounced. So for all intents and purposes, you would have to behave as if the ATF shows up on Monday to audit your books. It's just like the IRS and tax returns. They don't audit every tax return.
They move in with you, don't they? I mean, it's not like a one-day thing.
It's a team of 6. For a shop our size, it's a team of 6, and they'll be there for anywhere from 7 to 10 business days.
Wow. Has the FFL group thought about doing any marketing around that of saying, hey, look, we're highly regulated, just generally marketing to get out the information?
It's one of our core messages in the media is that we are regulated, and we're regulated by people who understand the business. It's not as simple a business as people on the outside may think that it is. There's an awful lot of nuance to it. So the notion that the state could wave a wand and create this army of auditors to come in and audit gun shops it's nonsensical, and that's why the Illinois Department of Professional Licensing said, we really don't want to do
this. I said this before the show. The Democrats really, in their own bill, with their own name on it, typically don't even know what's in that bill. If you ask a Republican, and I'm not trying to be partisan here, but I've observed it. I've literally been in the Capitol. I've seen this. If you ask a Republican whose name is on a bill, what does it mean? He's written the bill. He knows what it means. But when you ask a Democrat, like on a gun bill, and their name is the sponsor, They actually don't have an answer. But that music tells me that we are going to take a break. And when we come back, we have a caller, Harry, on the phone. We're going to get to that. And we're also going to talk about the organization. We'll return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
The world is a dangerous place. Often, it's a very ugly place. And you come here to try to help make sense of it all. We give you the latest news, help you understand what it means and why it's important. But there are bigger questions you need answered about life and death, faith and hope. And that's where our sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life, comes in. When you're looking for answers to life's biggest questions, give them a listen at AM 1160 or online at 1160hope.com.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. Democrats pushing back against the Trump White House's zero-tolerance stance on illegal border crossers and separating migrant kids from their parents after they're caught. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley in Brownsville, Texas.
They call it zero tolerance, but a better name for it is zero humanity, and there's zero logic to this policy.
The Border Patrol also defending that policy. One suspect dead, one in custody, over 20 others hurt after a Sunday morning shooting at a Trenton, New Jersey arts festival, apparently between rival gangs triggered by
numerous physical altercations that took place both inside and outside of the venue.
Mercer County prosecutor Angelo Onofre to golf, where Brooks Koepka has won his second straight PGA championship. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the Balance of Nature Traffic Center.
I'm Eddie Manzano in the Balance of Nature Traffic Center on the inbound Bishop Ford at 159th. The on-ramp is closed, and it's also closed from there to Sibley due to a crash. No times to report at this moment from 8094 to Dan Ryan on the outbound Gapers delay from Sibley to 159th. Dan Ryan to 894 at 20 minutes. On the inbound Kennedy, O'Hare to downtown at 34 from junction 14. On the outbound 2 O'Hare from downtown at 20. Express lanes at 8. Inbound Edens, sluggish from Tower to the junction from Lake Cook at 37 minutes. On the outbound, no delays at 19 minutes. Inbound Ike, pockets of delays from Wolf into the Circle. Thorndale to the post office at 40 minutes. On the outbound at 29. Inbound Stevenson, brake lights from Western to the Dan Ryan. 55 to Lakeshore Drive at 44. On the outbound at 34. It's currently mostly cloudy, 88 degrees tonight, a low of 81. Next update in 15 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM 560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Is it time for new reading glasses? Go to Readers.com. Readers.com has more than 700 styles to choose from, in powers ranging from 1.0 to 7.0. Readers.com also has readers hard to find in stores, like bifocals, sun readers, and computer readers. Choose from hundreds of fashionable styles and colors for under $20. Go to Readers.com now and type in the coupon code DEAL at checkout, and you'll save up to 40% through this special offer. Order now, and we'll quickly deliver your readers right to your door. Plus, all of our readers are absolutely worry-free because they're backed by our 100% happiness guarantee. So save up to 40%, get convenient, fast delivery, and a 100% happiness guarantee. Go online to Readers.com to find your perfect pair of reading glasses for under $20. But don't miss this special offer to save up to 40%. Go to Readers.com now and enter the coupon code DEAL. Again, that's Readers.com. Coupon code DEAL.
Now return to On Target on AM 560. The Answer. If you have a question or opinion, the studio line is 312-642-5600. Now, here's your host, firearm expert and educator, David Lombardo.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. We have Harry is on the phone. Harry, how you doing this evening?
It was great to see you and Gretchen yesterday at the Illinois State Rifle Association range. And you had mentioned yesterday, hey, Harry, why don't you give us a call? So I decided to do so, sir.
Well, that certainly tipped everyone off, didn't it?
That was subtle.
Thanks a whole lot for that, Harry.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment regarding FFLs because, for whatever it's worth, for all the listeners out there who may or may not think about such things when making firearm or ammunition purchases, the importance of dealing with a local brick and mortar store, because they, for them to stay in business. Because I know so many people that they go to the local stores to look at the guns, to check it out, to dry fire them, et cetera, and when it comes time to buy, they go online and go to some online shop and get them there. And to me, that's really stabbing the dealer in the back and making it that much more difficult for them to stay in business.
Harry, appreciate the call. Thank you very much, and it was good seeing you yesterday.
Okay, same here.
Dan, you want to comment on that? I would think that that's a problem.
Well, it's especially a problem when you have the Illinois General Assembly architecting legislator to drive brick and mortars out of business. Brick and mortar retail, it's no secret, it's a difficult business. Firearms are somewhat different because you have to purchase at a brick and mortar, and we have to be able to compete with the internet sellers, and we do that in a number of ways. Sometimes on price, but more typically with a service level, selection, and the availability of accessories right at the point of sale. So again, we do appreciate the support that people do give us, and we do our best to earn their business.
I would think it's a tough business. I mean, I know a number of people who are in it, and it's got to be a tough business. I mean, the margins aren't that great on guns. And so you got to keep the lights on. You got to, and the other thing is there's so many different guns with so many different possible accessories. How in heaven's name, there's no way you can carry everything. It's got to be kind of a nightmare.
Well, there are some things that lend themselves to e-commerce. If you look at where e-commerce started, it started with books and CDs and real catalog type of applications. I'd say in the firearms space, that would be holsters, holster fitment, and holster models and holster design. If we were to stock holsters for every firearm that we've ever sold in 3 or 4 different lines, we would have nothing but holsters in the shop. We accommodate that with our own e-commerce efforts and our ability to special order and get the equipment in for customers in a very quick manner. But as for firearms, I think you'll find that most of the brick and mortars are generally price competitive with the internet sellers when you bake everything into the cake, including shipping, including transfer fees when you go to pick it up at your local retailer. And we offer expertise. We offer a range, and most of your local shops will have services on top of that.
Yeah, I've said this for years, and not just about firearms, but just about everything in general. I would rather buy from a local person, even if I have to pay a little more. Not if it's an outrageous amount, but I would rather buy locally. People remember who I am. You know what I mean? It's supporting your community. I even have somewhat of a problem with big box stores. I get it, but if I can go to somebody who I know and who know me, I think that's vastly preferable.
So, not to drag dealer licensing in by the heels at every turn, but what the heck, let's do it. That was one of the most absurd things of the last iteration of dealer licensing, the one that passed last year, was they carved the big box stores out of it.
Exactly.
If you did less than 20% of your revenues in firearms, you were exempt. So what does that mean? That means that the kid that was restocking the lettuce at Walmart goes over and takes in a 4473 and sells you a gun and then goes and straightens up the coolers. These are not people who do this, who live this every moment of their working day. The real expertise, the ability to identify the obvious markers for straw purchases, for example, you're going to find that at the local gun shop where you have somebody who's working the counter a full shift.
Right, and as you said earlier, and we say all the time, you don't know what you don't know. And the problem is when you go to buy your first firearm and you really don't know what you don't know, then you have a serious issue, because we see it all the time. Little old ladies come in with guns that they can't even operate a slide on because nobody bothered to say, can you actually make this gun work? I mean, it's not like buying furniture or buying a shirt. You know, it's a personal item, really.
And if it's uncomfortable to shoot, if it doesn't fit you, you're not going to enjoy shooting it. You're not going to shoot it. It's going to wind up at the bottom of the drawer unused.
Yep, exactly. I've had two elderly women, totally unrelated, not even the same year, but come to a basic pistol class and say, I know you told me not to buy guns until I took the class, but I found the perfect gun. And both of them came in with a Walther PPK. And I said, you've never used that gun. You never fired, have you? And neither of them, they both said, no, I haven't. How do you know that? Because if you had, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, I want to talk about specifically what the organization does in Springfield. That and a little bit more when we return with more On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the Balance of Nature Traffic Center.
Good evening. I'm VG Lozano, the Balance of Nature Traffic Center. Heading inbound on the Bishop Ford, all lanes are shut down between 159th and Sibley Boulevard, all due to an earlier serious injury crash. Traffic there is backed up as far as the Tri-State Tollway. A little further down, the ramp from westbound 159th to the inbound Bishop Ford is closed due to this crash on the main line. Heading outbound, heavy gapers delays between Sibley Boulevard and 159th. Heading inbound on the Dan Ryan, it's a tight squeeze from the Stevenson Expressway to the Burn Interchange. Inbound Kennedy tight from O'Hare Extension to Montrose. Westbound side of 8094, it's stop and go between Torrance Avenue and the Bishop Ford. This is all again once again through the inbound Bishop Ford crash. Eastbound Jane Addams Tollway tight from the Tri-State Tollway to the Kennedy Expressway. Your current Chicago forecast is a low around 82 for your Monday morning, a sunny high around 94 Monday night, a low around 66. Your next update in 15 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Need a CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry popular brands of CPAP equipment, including ResMed, Respironics, and more. To move inventory, we're selling some of our ResMed CPAP machines at prices lower than you would think. Learn more about these affordable ResMed CPAPs at CPAP.com. We'll even provide free shipping on your ResMed machine orders, so you'll get it fast when you enter the promo code RADIO. The best part? No insurance needed.
Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and carries a large inventory of sleep apnea equipment. With little retail overhead and no middlemen, we're the best way to get affordable, comfortable sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has a large inventory of ResMed CPAPs and is offering free shipping on these devices. For these great deals and others, visit CPAP.com. Don't forget to enter the promo code RADIO. That's RADIO.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
And we're back. And our guest this evening is Dan Eldridge. Dan, tell us what it is that Federal Firearms Licensees of Illinois does. How do they work in Springfield?
So FFLIL is technically a 501c4 group that advocates for issues related to federal firearms licensees. That's the technical definition of it. The organization was formed as a reaction to 1657 last spring. About 50 or so FFLs gathered in Bolingbrook at the range at 355, a very nice facility, by the way, and raised a 5-figure sum to organize people on the ground in Springfield to push back against the 1657, which was certainly going to drive FFLs out of business.
Yeah.
Illinois is unique. We are competitors, but we find ourselves in the same foxhole when we're facing the Illinois General Assembly. So in this instance, we work very, very well together. The manufacturers' lobby group at the time did a very bad thing. They carved out the manufacturers from the dealer licensing. Remember, manufacturers have FFLs as well. They
Sure.
manufacture firearms. Right. They'll often have a retail FFL as well. They were exempted from it. Big boxes were exempted from it, and it was an attempt to drive us out of business. So we've worked closely with the other groups in Springfield. That would be the ISRA, that would be Illinois Carry, that would be the NRA, to keep the pressure on House members, to reach out to our members and our members' customers, to contact legislators, to let them know that there are more than 2 million firearms owners in Illinois that care about this stuff. And I think largely it was successful. The bill died last fall in the House. The organization was fortunate to hire Todd Vandermeide as our executive director, and I don't know if I need to introduce Todd to your audience, but
I think everybody knows Todd.
Who doesn't know Todd? Todd knows more about Illinois firearms law than probably anybody in Springfield. He was instrumental in writing the concealed carry law, and he knows the FOID Act backwards and forwards. So the dealer licensing bill is just dying in the House, and then along come the abhorrent events in February in Florida. Now every day is gun day in Springfield.
Yeah.
And they brought it back, passed it back to the Senate, passed it again, and it went to the governor's desk. We worked with the other lobby groups and the governor's legislative people to craft the veto memo. This is why this thing needs not to become law. He vetoed it. They did not have the roll call to override the veto. Okay, so Senator Harmon, who's been on this quest for 15 years now, creates yet another iteration. That bill was better, but that's sort of like saying in our context, it's better to have your foot cut off than your whole leg. But it was certainly a less painful. Passed it in the Senate, passed it in the House with changes that we touched on before. It went back to the Senate for concurrence, and all of this gun registration stuff that's baked into there bubbled to the surface. Senate President put a motion to reconsider. He filed a motion to reconsider. So until he lifts that motion, dealer licensing is asleep in the Senate.
It's the whole process in Springfield. Most people don't understand how it works. We have this mentality among the shooting contingent in the state of Illinois. Don't give an inch, hew to the line. Don't give them anything. Well, that's not how the process works when you're in the minority.
Well, and there's a couple other things to consider. They don't know much about our business. They really, truly don't. They don't understand what trace reports are showing. They don't understand what checks are in place to keep guns out of the hands of people that are not qualified purchasers. But to say that don't give an inch, don't talk to these people is, in my view, foolish, because if you don't have a seat at the table, you're most likely on the menu. And we were for sure on the menu last year.
Yeah, I try and explain it to people. And the day that I was down lobbying and testified before that committee, was down with Todd. And, you have some sort of vision. Everybody has some kind of vision of how this works. And I think the vision is, there's all these people wearing suit and ties sitting around discussing brilliant things. We were cornering people anywhere. I mean, you were with us. We were cornering people anywhere. We found a guy in the John, for crying out loud. It's chaotic down there. It's absolutely chaotic. And that you can get anything done is miraculous.
Never forget that while this is the most important issue to us, these legislators are dealing with dozens and dozens and dozens of issues, some of which may be more important to them, some of which certainly are more important to other constituent groups. So we have to be mindful of that. We have to engage with the other side so that we can have a conversation that starts from some fact base, not their dreams of all the evil things that we're doing.
Sure. And the other thing is, a lot of people said, I ought to be a lobbyist. Understanding your subject is, you have to understand it. But what they don't understand, I'd love to be a lobbyist, but I don't have those connections. You have to know people. I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into it. So I just find it interesting that we get anywhere, to be honest with you, because the deck is stacked against us. And anything that we get is because of just somebody who knows what they're doing. We're going to have to take another break. When we come back, action items. Gretchen's got action items, and we'll end the conversation with something or other about Maxon. We'll say something, and that'll be it. So we'll be back with more On Target Radio after these few messages, and you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Here at HealthQuest, our high standard of healthcare doesn't come from a sickness care perspective, and neither should yours. And if you're not as healthy as you should be, and you're sick and tired of those health challenges, please call us. As we say here at HealthQuest, don't just stand there, do something. Do something good for yourself. Just this one time. This is Dr. David Kobaba. If you're like me and my wonderful HealthQuest staff, well, we know how much you love helping others in this challenging world of ours. Now, if you could raise your level of health and wellness, well then you could be of greater service to those you know and love. What a great perspective, but you've got to put this intention into action. So just don't stand there. Do something. Call our HealthQuest Radio hotline right now, 1-800-794-1855. Do it now for yourself and a better future with higher health. 1-800-794-1855.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. for the weak.
Save the date for the 33rd Annual Gun Rights Policy Conference, September 21st to 23rd at the Hyatt Regency Chicago O'Hare Airport in Rosemont. Hear and meet luminaries of the 2A community. The conference is sponsored by the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms and the Second Amendment Foundation, who make it free to attend. Attendees also receive a plethora of books and other informational materials. Register now by emailing grpc2018@saf.org. I will put this on Facebook, of course. The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman, Saturday and Sunday, July 7th and 8th. Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida and Arizona. Saturday, July 21st. Introduction to Tactical Pistol, taught by David. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
So it's taking me a little time to get used to getting back into business here. Yeah. There's a lever here, a button there.
Yeah,
that's fine. So, Dan, thoughts? Maxon, you've owned it how long now?
Gosh, going on our 4th year now. It's been a great experience for us. And then this new chapter with FFLIL, I first of all want to thank you and Gretchen for having me on to
do it.
Talk about our association, and to thank all of the FFLs, the manufacturers, and the gun owners who have supported what we're trying to do. The website is fflil.org, and you can find us on Facebook as well. We welcome any support that people can have, and a special thanks to Springfield Armory, who have really gone overboard in terms of trying to undo the damage that was done with 1657. We'll be hosting Springfield Day this coming Saturday, the 23rd, at Maxon's, where we'll have the full line of new Springfield firearms you can shoot for $10 all you want. And we hope everyone comes out to support Maxon's in Springfield. That's Saturday at Maxon's, maxonshooters.com for more information.
And the thing about Springfield, everybody makes a mistake here and there. What the heck? If we don't hang, who was it? Patrick Henry? If we don't hang together, no, it was Ben Franklin, I think. Oh, really? If we don't hang together, we'll surely hang separately.
I'd rather see a sermon than hear a sermon. And
there you go.
Their efforts have been tremendous.
Yeah. I just, let's just get on with it. Keep moving forward. We got to stay together. That's literally the tactic of the left. The tactic is to divide and conquer, and so got to stick together. Cool. So we'd like to thank, particularly Dan, we'd like to thank you for being here this evening, and we'd like to take the time to thank all of our people who tuned in and listened to On Target. I guess we're having a little Facebook problem. Is that right?
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be going out on Facebook. We apologize.
We apologize for that, but
it is on YouTube.
Those of you who stuck, thank you very much. And Dan, thanks for coming in tonight. Next week, our guest is Barry Bordage, technology entrepreneur and the inventor of Crazy Coil. It's the clay bird thrower on steroids. It's making shotgun a big deal now. If you're not familiar with it, you will be. And Barry is always funny. We have no idea what to expect with Barry on this show.
We're currently trying to figure out what to talk to him about.
Yeah, and we may just let him rip for an hour anyway.
We may just let Barry be Barry. We may not have a choice.
Exactly.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board, Eric Allen, our video producer. Learn how you can be a sponsor partner for a lot less than you'd imagine. Call 815-741-3474 for details.
And, finally, please go to Facebook and like our page, On Target Radio. Tell your friends, and, be sure to listen next week. We never really have a handle on how many listeners we have. But if you go to Facebook and you sign in, we begin to get some sense of it. And that helps with advertising. And, money is what makes the whole thing turn. So please do go on Faces.
Men, are you tired of those daily blue enhancement pills that take days, weeks, or months to work, if they ever work at all? Listen up. Now you can take Red, the new natural